Have you ever been told to come inside before the sun sets? In Indonesia, that warning isn't just about safety from the dark. It's about avoiding a specific shadow that lurks in the transition between day and night. Today, we are exploring the chilling legend of Wewe Gombel, a figure that has haunted the dreams of children and the hearts of parents for generations. She isn't your typical ghost. She is a tall, imposing figure, often described with long, sagging breasts and wild, tangled hair that seems to move with a life of its own. But before we get into the truly terrifying details, I want you to imagine the humid, thick air of a Javanese evening. The sky is turning a deep, bruised purple, and the cicadas are screaming. This is her hour. This is the time when the boundaries between our world and the supernatural begin to thin, and Wewe Gombel begins her hunt for the forgotten.
The name Wewe Gombel carries a weight that can quiet a room. Legend says she was once a woman who lived in the Gombel hills of Semarang. Her story is one of profound tragedy. Unable to have children of her own, she was shunned by her husband and her community. In the depths of her despair and madness, she eventually took her own life, but her spirit refused to find peace. Instead, she transformed into a Wewe, a vengeful yet strangely maternal spirit. She doesn't just want to scare people, she wants to provide the love and attention she felt was missing from her own life. This backstory adds a layer of sorrow to her horror. When you look into the shadows and see her looming figure, you aren't just seeing a monster. You're seeing the manifestation of a broken heart that has rotted into something unrecognizable and dangerous over centuries of isolation.
Her appearance is perhaps her most disturbing trait. Witnesses, those who have survived an encounter at least, describe her as being extraordinarily tall, sometimes reaching the height of the trees she hides within. Her skin is the color of pale ash, and her face is often obscured by a mass of black, matted hair. But the most iconic and frankly unsettling feature is her elongated breasts. It is said she uses them to hide the children she kidnaps, tucking them away where they cannot be seen or heard by the outside world. Think about that for a second. Imagine being pulled into a dark, warm void, unable to scream while the person searching for you walks right past her. It's a claustrophobic nightmare that targets our most primal fears of abduction and the unknown. She moves with a silent, gliding motion, her long limbs allowing her to traverse the dense forest floor without making a single sound.
But Wewe Gombel doesn't take just any child. She is a selective predator. She specifically targets children who are neglected or mistreated by their parents. In her twisted mind, she isn't kidnapping them, she is rescuing them. She takes them to her realm, a hidden place deep within the bamboo groves, to care for them in a way she thinks they deserve. It's a terrifying social commentary embedded in a ghost story. It serves as a stark warning to parents. Cherish your children, or something else will. The irony is that her love is a death sentence in disguise. While the children are with her, they are often placed in a trance-like state, unable to recognize their own families or even their own names. They are trapped in a dream world where the sun never rises, and the only comfort is the cold, terrifying embrace of the night stalker. The most dangerous time of day is known as Sandia Kala, the transition between afternoon and night. This is the Maghrib hour, a sacred and eerie time in Indonesian culture. It is widely believed that this is when spirits are most active, and Wewe Gombel is the queen of this twilight period. Parents will frantically call their children home as the call to prayer begins, fearful that a single moment of lingering outside could result in a disappearance. There is a specific rhythm to this fear. The air gets still, the birds stop singing, and a sudden, unnatural chill might settle over the area. If you're out late and you smell a sudden scent of burnt hair or rotting flowers, locals say you should run. Wewe Gombel is near, and she's already picked out her next child to save. It's a race against the light, and once the last sliver of sun vanishes,
She holds all the power. When she takes a child, she doesn't go far, but she becomes invisible to the naked eye. She hides them in her nest, which is usually located in the crown of a tall palm tree or deep within a dense thicket of yellow bamboo. While the child is missing, their family experiences a living hell. They search the woods, screaming the child's name, but Wewe Gombel uses her magic to muffle the child's voice. The child might be standing only a few feet away, watching their parents weep, but they are unable to move or speak. This psychological torture is a hallmark of the Wewe Gombel legend. To the child, the world looks different, distorted and gray. They are fed food that looks like delicious treats, but is actually mud or feces, a trick to keep them under her spell. It's a total sensory manipulation that leaves the victim completely at her mercy.
So, how do you get a child back from such a powerful spirit? The villagers have a specific ritual. It's not about violence or exorcism, it's about noise. They gather in a large group, carrying kitchen utensils, pots, pans, and traditional drums. They march through the village and into the woods, creating a deafening cacophony. This is known as gamelan tek tek. The belief is that the sudden chaotic noise disturbs Wewe Gombel and breaks her concentration. She hates the sound of human community and joy. As the villagers bang their pots, they chant for the spirit to return the child. Under the pressure of the noise, her spell weakens and she is forced to let her guard down. Often, the child is found in a bizarre location, atop a roof, high in a tree, or behind a locked door that was previously empty. They are usually naked and in a deep state of shock, clutching a handful of dirt. Now, let's talk about the buildup, the signs that she is watching you right now. It usually starts with the feeling of being followed. You look back and there's nothing but the swaying bamboo. Then, the sounds change. You hear a giggle that sounds like a woman, but it's too high-pitched, too rhythmic. You might notice that the shadows on the ground aren't matching the trees above them. The tension builds as the light fades. Your heart rate increases, and every rustle of a leaf sounds like a footstep. This is the jump scare build that many survivors describe. It's a slow, agonizing realization that you are being hunted by something that doesn't follow the laws of physics. She is playing with you, waiting for that moment of peak vulnerability when you realize you are truly alone in the dark. The air grows heavy, making it hard to breathe, as if her presence is literally crushing the oxygen out of the clearing.
It's gone. Suddenly, a figure emerges from the trees. She doesn't look scary at first. She looks like a tall, grandmotherly figure, shrouded in mist. She reaches out a hand, and you feel a strange urge to follow. But as you get closer, the grandmother changes. Her skin is cold as ice, and her eyes aren't kind. They are empty voids of ancient sorrow. Before you can scream, she lifts her heavy, matted hair, and you are pulled into the darkness of her embrace. Everything goes silent. The world of your parents, your home, and your toys vanishes. You are now a guest of the Night Stalker. This moment of transition is where the most terrifying encounters happen. It's the point of no return, where the folklore becomes a physical, terrifying reality for those caught in her web.
Even in the modern world, sightings of Wewe Gombel persist. In suburban areas that were once lush forests, people still report seeing a tall, pale woman standing near construction sites or under old bridges at dusk. Is it just a collective hallucination, or is she adapting to the changing landscape? Some say she has become even more aggressive as the forests disappear, forced into closer proximity with humans. The legend serves as a powerful reminder of our connection to the past and the lingering spirits of the land. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, the story of Wewe Gombel touches on a universal truth: the fear of losing our children
and the guilt of our own neglect. She is the shadow that reminds us to look after one another, a dark guardian who punishes those who forget their most sacred duties.
As we wrap up our journey into the night, I want to leave you with one final thought. The next time you find yourself outside as the sun is dipping below the horizon and you hear a rustle in the trees that sounds just a bit too much like a sigh, don't wait to find out what it is. Head inside, lock the door, and hold your loved ones close. Wewe Gombel is always searching, always waiting for a child to feel lonely enough to be rescued. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the shadows of Java. If you enjoyed this atmospheric trip into the world of horror, don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. We have plenty more legends to uncover, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Until then, stay safe, stay in the light, and remember, some legends are more than just stories.